Bitcoin for beginners. Let's do a video for the newbies out there because we've got a lot of those viewers on this channel. My name is Mike or Kubera. Welcome. I hope you're having a fantastic day. And yeah, let's chat about crypto. If you're new to the crypto sphere, definitely hit that subscribe button. And if you're wondering what is a Bitcoin, who founded Bitcoin, Satoshi Nakamoto, there is a video from earlier on in the channel. You should probably check that out if you're interested, but let's get to it. First, let's talk about the properties of Bitcoin. What makes Bitcoin different than all these other currencies out there? And then we're kind of getting into the details. First of all, a lot of people are going into Bitcoin because they feel it's pseudo-anonymous. I said pseudonymous, not pseudo-anonymous. That's exactly what I said. So neither the transactions or the actual accounts are connected to real-world identities. You do not need to have identification verified to be in a position where you're holding a large amount of Bitcoin. In reality, this doesn't happen often because most people are still connected. There's paper trails. Oh, you bought Bitcoin from here. So if you're trying to escape the IRS or Zeus or wherever you live, the governments will eventually find you if it's a large amount of Bitcoins. However, if it's a smaller amount and you're dealing from one wallet to another wallet and you've been sort of careful about your actions, if it's not large enough where you're buying Ferraris and houses and, you know, wearing Louis Vuitton, but it is a decent amount where you're able to live off of it, I mean, yeah, you could kind of get away with it. And truthfully, the banks, like let's say you're depositing in small amounts into the bank each month, they aren't able to, well, they're not going to care. They're not going to report it to the IRS or to other government bodies because the banks are looking out for their clients and they're also looking out for themselves. I mean, come on, they really don't want to be like messing around with that stuff. But, you know, if you're depositing like, oh, $20,000 here, $20,000 there, if it's below $10,000, that's where it gets interesting. However, we also did a video about taxes. The links will be in the description below. It is possible to analyze the transaction flow and look, oh, okay, it went from this address to this address to that, and then you keep following. But unless you're a big fish with millions of dollars or even hundreds of thousands of dollars and you're related to criminal activities, nobody cares. Nobody cares because, well, you are in control. That's the next point. It's permissionless. You don't need somebody's permission to have a Bitcoin, to be able to send the Bitcoin. You don't have to wait. It's pretty much, okay, here's an address, right? I'm sending to Fred, my buddy Fred. He wants me to pay back for, I don't know, the meal from last Sunday, okay? Okay, Fred, I have your address. It's sent. Now it's on the blockchain and he's able to track because Bitcoin isn't instant. There are other cryptocurrencies which are instant and hopefully with Bitcoin's updates it will be instant in the future. But we'll see, and also hopefully the fees go down. But anyways, so yeah, I send over a Bitcoin, or well, a Bitcoin would be like $4,500 or nearly $5,000. So Fred, oh boy. Let's just say I send that, okay, and Fred can track, okay, so it has 1 out of 6 confirmations, perfect. His wallet probably registers it, or it says it's pending or whatever, so okay, you wait. Usually within like 2 hours, you're able to use it. And Fred has his money. He's able to send to another address, or he's able to send it to his other wallet, or he's able to cash out into fiat currency if you really wanted to, or convert it into Ethereum or other cryptocurrencies. So you're able to do whatever you want. You have full control over your money pretty much. Nobody's looking at it unless you give them reason to. So yeah, if you're tied to criminal activities or it's a large enough amount of Bitcoins where, you know, tax agencies are like, I mean, you're pretty much safe. There's no gatekeepers. No one can prevent you from sending a transaction. They're not like, oh, you can't do that. Well, okay, sent. It's pretty secure. It's, I mean, that's the whole point of being in the crypto sphere. Cryptography, yeah, it's kind of like encrypted. There's public keys and private keys. If you are in possession of your private keys, nobody can unlock that except you. So, or if you send off the private key to somebody else. But yeah, if you can control your own wallet, which this is what we're talking about, Bitcoin for beginners, There's offline wallets and there's online wallets. Offline wallets are the wallets you can control, okay? So with those, you have your private keys. An online wallet, for example, is something like Coinbase, or you use an exchange like Poloniex, Kraken, Bitrex, GDEX, whatever. GDEX and Coinbase are connected, but still there's just a difference between them. One's for trading, one's for buying, selling, etc. So Coinbase, if you guys remember with Bitcoin Cash, you didn't literally get your Bitcoin because you're not in control of your wallets. Seriously, if Coinbase wanted to, they could probably cash out and buy like Cayman Islands and like whatever. It's technically your money, but it's under their control. Now, of course, there'd be lawsuits and stuff coming their way, as with the Bitcoin Cash thing, but still, technically, you're not in control of it. So there's a difference between those two. And there's also like offline wallets that you have on your computer, and like offline actual like cold storage stuff that you have in the palm of your hand, okay? Strong cryptography and just a bunch of numbers, okay? It's super, super difficult. I'm not sure if there's ever going to be a way to like get into a wallet, hack into it. Like there's brute force, but that's a different thing than actually like, boom, we're in. Okay, stolen 110 Bitcoins. There's phishing, but you can get phished with anything, with Facebook, with Google, with YouTube, with just logging into your bank account. Like, okay, that doesn't count. You have brute forcing, but that doesn't count because you can have a computer that spends thousands of years and then finally, yay, you got into the password, but everybody's deed, yeah, I mean, the money is non-existent anymore. So Bitcoin's pretty secure, and even if it's not the most secure, even if it's not the most anonymous, this is where you get into the other altcoins. Bitcoin is one of the bigger coins out there. It's the most popular. It was started right after like the 2008 crash, pretty much. Satoshi Nakamoto, we don't know who he is. She group, we're not sure. But whoever came up with Bitcoin wasn't pleased with fiat currency. So you will hear this a lot. Bitcoin is virtual currency, and there's a difference with fiat currency. So Bitcoin's value is given to it by the fact that you buy it with fiat currency. Fiat currency has a value today. It may not have a value tomorrow. Same thing with Bitcoin, although Bitcoin's trying to turn itself into something like gold, where gold used to be more stable, but gold's been a little bit weird. Same with platinum and silver. You know, I think the best thing to do is if you have millions of dollars, diversify. Get land, get like oil, get gold, get diamonds, get platinum, get Bitcoins, get Ethereum, get a little bit of fiat currency in different values. Like, just diversify as much as possible. Go into stocks. Because you don't know. I mean, the world's crazy. It changes. But some people who really support Bitcoin over here think fiat currency will just crash. And they are afraid that the 2008 recession and the Great Depression and just other world events, well, history likes to repeat itself. So they're afraid of the governments. They're afraid of the banks. They want to have full control over their coins, over their futures. Bitcoin is fast and global. You don't have to wait a couple of days for wire transfers, right? For example, I got this new apartment, right? And I laughed with the guy. I was like, hey, I have Bitcoin in my wallet. I wish I could have just sent it off to you, and there we go. But no, I had to go to an ATM and then withdraw. Oh, not enough money because the ATM has limits. Withdraw again. Third time. Each time I get placed with a fee. Then I have to come back the next day because, oh, I had a credit card limit. And then I also have a debit card limit. And then there's limits all over the place. And I'm just like, oh, fantastic. In the end, I think I lost like an extra $100 or $200 for fees. With Bitcoin, maybe the differences wouldn't have been that large. There's also fees for sending to wallets and if you're purchasing, of course. But if you're already holding it, it's just for sending. But still, the fees probably would have been similar, although a little bit less. And because with the fees are high, hopefully in the future the fees get lower. But the main thing is, it took me so much stress, so much time was wasted. I was like, really? I wish I could have just... So as soon as you have an address, as soon as you have to double check the address, make sure it's correct, make sure that that person actually has access to their wallet, and make sure to double check the amounts and, you know, save all your passwords, the usual stuff as you would with your banking account. And then when you're ready to go, boom, you send it. Within a couple hours, they get it. And if they don't, they're still able to trace it. Usually, sometimes it depends on how much volume is going through the system. For example, if Bitcoin would go from $5,000 to $10,000 overnight, you are almost guaranteed that your Bitcoin transactions would be pending for probably days because everybody wants their Bitcoin now. Yeah. I just realized my shirt is unbuttoned. Okay, so we've been talking about some of the good things about Bitcoin. There is one really nice thing to it. It is much more secure than PayPal, which, by the way, cryptocurrencies have surpassed PayPal's market cap. Also, Bitcoin itself has surpassed it, which is very interesting. I'm not a big fan of PayPal. PayPal and chargebacks. If you've ever been using that, you are quite familiar, especially if you are a seller and you have a virtual item. There's nothing to protect you. With virtual items, buyers and sellers I've been screwed. But with Bitcoin, it's irreversible. Nobody can get it back. Not you, not the person who, well, I mean, they can send it back to you, but they can't reverse it. You can't reverse it. Nobody, not Satoshi Nakamoto, not the president. Like, once it's sent, it's done. On one hand, yikes, because if you send it to a wrong address, well, that's your fault because you should have double checked it, or if it's a phishing link or whatever, technically you're at fault. It's not Bitcoin's fault. Oh no, yeah, I lost $15,000 due to Bitcoin. No, it's your fault. So, but still, on the other hand, it's like, well, it's good. It's good. I actually feel safe. When somebody pays me in Bitcoin, I know they're not going to charge back. With PayPal, it's like, let's wait a little bit. And you get these weird limits with PayPal. Oh, that's fantastic. I was sending $500 yesterday from my own account to another account of mine, from my personal to my business account. And I was scared. I actually was scared because I was like, I don't know. What if PayPal just suddenly locks my funds up and then I have to wait 2 days? I don't have 2 days to wait. And then it's like, then I have to go on credit because of the $500 that is already there. And it's like, PayPal's locked my account before for like no apparent reason. They unlocked it again, but wow, fantastic. There's people who have not had access to their funds for months and months and months on end. It's just silly. So you got all the positives about Bitcoin. What are the negatives? Well, it's a little bit slow. Just Bitcoin compared to other cryptocurrencies, but with updates coming into place and with more and more people using, hopefully it's going to continue updating and progressing. And worst case scenario, if Bitcoin does fall, there are other cryptocurrencies to take its place. So blockchain is here to stay. Bitcoin, for now, it's here to stay, but in the future, maybe let's say like 5-10 years from now, we're not sure. It might be gone, or it might be worth $100,000. I don't think so, but then again, I don't know. It's crazy what's been going on. So this is the part that hopefully I maybe should have switched around, but I felt that was more important than this because this is the super simple stuff. That was more going into the details of why it's actually used, why it's not like just gonna bubble burst, because it has some nice properties to it. So at the moment, there's two main uses of Bitcoin. One is that you have a lot of speculation going on. It's a money-making tool. You want to have more fiat currency. You want to have more Bitcoins or whatever. You're able to make money through speculation. You are buying at 4,500. You're saying it's going to be at 4,700. So you're going to sell at 4,700. Let's say at 10 of those, whatever. And then you go into Ethereum and you keep switching around. You're making money from it, or you lose money in that case if you did bad bets or margin trading or whatever, and it didn't turn out the way you thought it would be. But still, so that's speculation. It's kind of like stocks. But on the other hand, if you are holding it and you don't care about the money, if you just want to put in $1,000 and you feel it's secure, or maybe you're offering another payment system because you're a company or a business and you want to have a little bit more safety with your products, services, whatever it is. So you get it to you, okay? And it's anonymous, technically, it's secure, you have full control of it, you don't care about the government. So for the paranoid people, it's kind of a nice thing. It's maybe safer than keeping it in the bank. Because banks do an FDIC insurance of $250,000, but what happens after that? And you shouldn't be keeping all your money in the bank because of, well, that's the thing with the dollar, with euros and yen and everything. There's inflation every single year. So, pretty soon though, Bitcoin's not where it's going to seriously thrive just yet. That is coming in within the next probably 2 to 3 years, where you'll be able, I mean, you already have Bitcoin debit cards or Bitcoin credit cards or whatever. And with that, pretty much, I keep getting texts and I keep getting distracted. Oh, I'm a busy person. Oh, so with that, right now, you're able to purchase things off of Amazon or Walmart or whatever with a Bitcoin card. Okay, so you have a Bitcoin connected to your card. You send a little bit, you send a little bit there, you keep buying things, fantastic, they arrive in person. You are translating your virtual currency into something that's tangible. You actually have it. I don't know, you buy sugar or something. So, or sugar mama. But in the future, you'll probably be able to buy cars and houses with it. At the moment, I'm sure people have done it, but they're not going to admit like, oh, hey, yeah, I just spent like $100,000 of Bitcoin on this nice Porsche Carrera. And yeah, because then the tax man's going to be like, I wonder what's going on over there. And you don't want the tax man against you. Okay, so it's nice that you have control over it, but how do you actually acquire Bitcoins? A, you're able to earn Bitcoins, whether through a job, somebody donates to whatever, you get Bitcoins, or you purchase Bitcoins either through an exchange or from an individual. Usually exchanges will be a little bit less than an individual. However, with an individual, you have the options to buy anonymously because, let's say, through local Bitcoins or you met somebody through a forums, you don't have to provide, hey, here's my passport, hey, here's my credit card number, my social security number, blah, 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 blah. So it's up to you. Do you want to pay less and be, do you want to pay more and be more secure about your identity, or do you want to pay less? Like, this is better if you're doing legal stuff. But then again, this might be a problem in the future for taxes. Coinbase hasn't really helped IRS yet, but we're not sure about that, so we'll see. So once you have a Bitcoin, you need a wallet. You send the Bitcoin from whatever, because, okay, so you have an online wallet, like I mentioned earlier. Let's say you buy Bitcoin through Coinbase or Paxful or whatever. You purchase that Bitcoin, it goes into the online wallet. Then you have to create your own wallet, which is pretty much like, hey, here's my own bank account. You send money from that online bank account and boom, it's in your bank account now. And then you're able to send it to whoever else you want to. To buy Bitcoin, real money must be exchanged for this. And some people don't feel safe about virtual coins. That's why there's actually a lot of schemes going on, because the people who don't feel safe and don't know anything about it suddenly get super excited when a bunch of people make money and then they fall into a scheme. And whoa, okay, so that's a disadvantage of Bitcoin, but not really. It's because you can get schemed no matter what happens. Like, yeah, you can lose money to the silliest of things, like people off of Craigslist or whatever. I don't know. It's not Bitcoin's fault you lost your money, so get over it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Once you have Bitcoin, the only tedious part is purchasing the actual Bitcoins, but probably the easiest is just purchasing from a local individual, and that's it. Anyways, my name is Mike Kubera. I know I don't want to make this video too long, so we'll catch you guys later tomorrow, and also I'll make a video about Bitcoin just in Polish as well for the Polish audience. That's coming up soon. See you guys. Bye.